Good morning, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 8:13 a.m. on Monday morning, the 12th of June. We're nearly halfway in the middle of the month of June. 21st is the longest day of the year, and then we're on the slippery slide again to winter. I was out and about all day yesterday. Drove a car an hour and a half to pick up a coach. Drove an hour and a half to Knock Airport to pick up a stag, then the hour and a half back and an hour and a half home. There was a 40-minute wait as well at the airport for them because the flight was late. So never seen a race at all yesterday. Couldn't get on the phone when you're driving a coach besides driving a minibus. See no racing. There were 7. It can be an easy game at times. 7 winners yesterday that I had tipped up prior. I only backed 2 of them yesterday, and I don't think Russian Virtue was the only one I tipped up. We had Ponce Alias, who let us down before. We went off him. He let us down that time for an each way Acume. He was 4th. And he has bet us twice since, including yesterday. I thought he was better on the goo than on the turf. That horse ran no sort of race, I was told. I didn't see any of it yet. I didn't have time to look. I was tired. I went to bed before 10 o'clock last night. Blow Your Horn won yesterday as well. He let us down once as well. Maybe twice, although we won on him. American Sonia won in France. That Ballykeel, I tipped him up before over hurdles as well, but I thought the other one with Course Forum would have been the one yesterday. Saw it fell. And Collective Power. That all yoked away back a couple of times in over the goo. But I didn't see the 2-mile races yet, and I doubt if I will have time today. I'm off on a venture at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I have to pick up a small little wagon or a BMW car and be in Dublin for 9 a.m. to pick up a yank and head for Cork. And we're staying tomorrow night in Gabriel House in Cork. Not sure, I didn't even check to where that is yet in the city. That's where I'll be staying tomorrow night. We're moving on then for 2 nights to the Crystal Springs in Kerry. Then we're moving on to Galway Friday night, so I might get a game of poker in. Donegal then for 2 nights. Derry for 1 night. Belfast for 1 night. Back to Trim for a night. And then I have to drop him off at the airport. I had agreed to do this thinking that it was a 5 or 6 day trip. But when I got the itinerary, as they say, it was going from the 12th or the 13th to the 23rd. Bit much for the first time doing it for this crowd, but I didn't want to say no then because I might do a couple of more for the summer. I thought maybe 5-day tours. That's what I was looking to do for when I'd be off, or 2 or 3 of them anyway. So I might bump into somebody on my travels. So Cork tomorrow night, or tomorrow night. I don't know what's going to be the story with doing videos. I think it's my own time after 6 o'clock or something, but I have to be sort of a guide and a caddy and a driver and the whole lot for this person. So anyway, it'll be interesting to get around the country. I have a couple for today. The first one I sort of fancy is in the 5 furlong sprint in Windsor. Bedford Flyer. Although it shows form there of 7-6-3-6, the horses that he has kept company with have been quite good. He's only, 5? Easterby is going all right there too. He has 7 winners, 16%. But this horse won last November of 94 in Sutherland, Class 3. But it's 2 runs this year, or both at York. It was behind Regional, only beaten a length and a half, and Regional has went in since. And then in a Class 2 race, it was behind Chipstead, and again it was only beaten 2 lengths. And it led, that was 6 furlongs, wasn't it? Oh, 5 as well. But they were good quality horses. He's actually leading here as we joined the race. He's third from the left towards the front.
Oh, fine wine in front, but they're coming at him. Bedford Flyer over towards the near side is Reigning Prophet with Spring is Sprung. Chipstead in a dark jacket is also bang there now with Burning Cash as they get to fine wine on entering the final 100 yards. And it's Chipstead who moves through to take the lead. Chipstead moves away by a length or so, and Roger Teal's only runner on the card.
The third run back after the layoff. He's drawn in 10, so he needs to get out fast because he's drawn on the outside. But the horses in, what do you call it, Windsor, do tend to have to know that they have to put, and he is the one that goes well from the gate. He was 11-2 last night. 4-1, 9-2. I don't, he's 16-5. There's money for him. I'll chill back him each way if he goes out. If you get 9-2, 5-1, back him each way. Or it's a win bet nearly now. I had him picked out as a safety net on a Monday. The Connacht Grand National. There's something caught there. The Connacht Grand National is on today. They've it on early, the second race too, and I'm not sure the reason why. Because a lot of people won't be in for 5:15, and if they used to have it years ago at 7:30, you had a bigger crowd, probably for television. Last year we backed Papang, that finished second, to politicise, wasn't it, that won the Connacht last year? Yeah, Politesse. It was rated 132. It's still raced at 130. But if you look at the race just after that last year in the Midlands Grand National, we backed Pong again, I think, each way, but to second. It was beaten 13 lengths by Hurricane Georgie. And Hurricane Georgie at that time was only a 5-year-old mare. So that was its first time at the trip. 3 miles won. Yeah, it was his first time at the trip, and it relished it. And it was second behind Noble Yates there in a listed chase in Wexford. And then an inadequate trip the last day, it was second, only beaten into the quarter by Jeremy's Flame. Jeremy's Flame is a very decent mare. It's sort of put it up to it. I thought that was with only 6-year-old and Elliot going so well at 6-1. Corey McGivern taking 7 off. Stealthy Tom we backed when it was second in Punchestown. It won at 2 miles 4. The distance, the trip will suit today because it's up half a mile from the last day. But went up £8 for that win. Anyone that backed that before and back to the last time, I'm not sure I tipped it up the last time, but we backed it in Punchestown. And we backed it last year. It's a 4-1 favourite. The distance will suit. I just thought the other one might be just a bit classier. And when we're at Roscommon in the 6:48, I'm not sure You see the little rascal there, Alfonso La Grande? It's a reserve. There's nothing pulled out yet, so I know whether they're going to run it or not. It's also declared for Sligo tomorrow. In the 6:33, and it's top weight in that, I think. So they may not bring it today, and they might head for Sligo tomorrow. Keep an eye on it if it runs and if the money comes. You all know the story there. There was one other interesting horse in Roscommon in the 6:18 at a price. Is Skip Mahler. They're paying 5 places in this, and it's trained by Lorna Fowler. It was 5th in Punchestown the last time, but it went off 4-1 second favourite on the strength of it being second in Ballinrobe, and it just didn't get the run of the race. And when it got sort of boxed in a mile out, and 3/4 of a mile out, so that will improve for the better ground. As well. It was good ground there when it has ran its best race. It's good today, good to Fairham in places. That could be an each way bet as well in Roscommon, because a lot of outsiders win there. So I hope it works out next week that I can get plenty of time for Ascot. I thought this would be Tuesday to Saturday or Sunday going away, and I'd be giving full consideration to Ascot next week. So I just have to try the best I can. Anyway, Bash the Bookies over and out.